Tennessee Tornado, located at Dollywood in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, is an aerodynamics custom looper, and let me tell you, this is such a good ride. As you might expect, I said custom looper by Aero, which most of the time these coasters are not good at all because they can have a lot of headbanging. They were built quite a while back, but let me tell you, this is different. It was designed by the legendary Alan Schilke a couple years before Aero went out of business in 1999, and he did a fantastic job with this thing. It may be a short ride, but man, does it pack a punch. And so that's what we're doing in today's video, my full in-depth review on Tennessee Tornado, located at Dollywood. But most importantly, before we start, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more videos on coasters often. Also, if you want to see more, make sure to follow our social media pages for updates and much more. But now that that is out of the way, let's look at the stats. Due to Dollywood's terrain, it is 163 feet tall, which is pretty tall. Also, due to the terrain, the drop is only about 128 feet, but that speed is 63 miles per hour, which is pretty fast, and you really do feel like it because where you hit the top speed is in a tunnel, so that first drop. It has 3 inversions, those being 2 vertical loops and a sidewinder that actually makes up most of the ride the inversions do. And finally, it has a track length of 2,682 feet long, which is pretty good for the pacing on how short the duration is. But let's get into talking about this ride. First off, one thing that really makes it so much different and apart from the other custom loopers is that it is the smoothness. This actually used a different track design than every other Aero looper, and that resulted in a much more enjoyable and smooth ride experience. Though over the last couple of years I have noticed a slight, and I mean a very slight, bumpiness of the coaster, but it does not really change it at all. It's way smoother than the other Aero loopers, and that's what's so good about it. Of course, that being combined with who designed it, Alan Schilke, that makes this coaster such high quality. This thing also has a lot of other stuff up its sleeve, such as the inversions, which are just so good. They are either really intense, or that first loop, you even get some hang time due to how large it is. That loop is so whacked, as you can see, you twist back and forth while inverting. It is so cool and fun the same, actually, with the other loop that may not deliver hang time, but it is intense. This whole ride really is just intense. You pack in such a great ride in the short duration that it is, which is pretty much my only con with the ride. It is super short, only being about 30 seconds from the drop to brake run, which is of course the downside. You really could have added a lot more elements, but in my opinion, it is fine the way it is, just because it makes every element great, also with the fantastic pacing from that drop to the brake run. This coaster really is just so different than the other Aero custom loopers, as on the others you feel like you will find stuff such as random turns that really make no sense, that just they feel like filler, but this is way better than the transitions just due to the improvements that they made. So now let's walk up to the coaster, as you'll first notice the theming that is pretty good, by the way. Of course, the theme is the name, Tennessee Tornado. You will see a lot of scattered stuff like wheelbarrows and trees, and overall in the station there's a lot of holes, just like there would be after a tornado. So this coaster's station is actually right over an arcade, so it can be a little hard to find the entrance, especially if you have a fast pass. It can be frustrating, but after waiting in almost no line, and as you board those trains, they are your standard Aero trains with, of course, these standard Aero over-the-head restraints that normally are not comfortable, but here they just feel different than the others. They will not deliver any headbanging during the experience, and they don't have any seatbelts or anything, which is great. But for which row to sit in, I would probably go for the back, but both rows are great, and try if you can ride both, but you'll leave that station, take a turn to your left. You go through this kind of shed with some more added theming, such as some sirens that really set the mood, to where you'll dip down again into your turn to the right up into that lift hill. You do get up there pretty quickly, going up 163 feet, and at the top you will get some views of the woods. This ride pretty much is all tucked away, but then you can see it from the train or the top of the mountain. There's this little pre-drop that adds some more uniqueness to where you'll go into that drop that is really good at being in a tunnel, and you also get some great airtime in the back. It is probably my favorite Aero custom looper drop. It is so good, but here's where the signature signature element is, and that is the main loop. And like I said earlier, this thing is absolutely massive. It also is super fun with that hang time and wackiness to where you'll hit this great overbank turn that does pull some strong G-force, but so does the next element that is the other vertical loop. And then is that sidewinder. You really only find these elements on Aero and Vekoma coasters, which is really odd it seems like, but then you hit that last element that is this really fun turn that everybody takes videos of. I love taking videos of it, especially from certain angles to where you'll get a fantastic pop of airtime into the brake run, ending your ride on Tennessee Tornado. I obviously am a big fan of this ride, one of my favorites at Dollywood, but just that length sets this thing back from all the other great coasters. So for its overall score, it'll get an 8 out of 10. So what do you think of Tennessee Tornado? Make sure to post that in the comments below. I read every comment. Love what you guys have to say, and of course, make sure to subscribe for more videos on coasters often. And see ya.